even provide mental benefits to aging mice. Even better, butyrate can help manage blood sugar levels already within the normal range. So if you're someone who likes to keep an eye on your blood sugar, butyrate is a godsend. Butyrate also produces legendary ketones in the liver, which is not only great for liver health, it's an important aspect of many diets. For instance, you may have heard of the keto diet before, where people give up 100% of their carbs. Why do they do this? Because when they do, their body goes into overdrive producing ketones, helping them lose weight. Well, butyrate produces ketones, all on its own, without giving up carbs. And speaking of weight loss, let's get into some really interesting aspects of butyrate. Everyone knows that exercise is healthy, but recent studies have now shown that when animals exercise, one of the main things they produce is, you guessed it, butyrate in the gut. So having improved butyrate in your gut means you have the gut of someone who exercises a lot, whether you actually exercise or not. Weight loss, more energy, reduced food cravings, liver health, brain health, saying goodbye to bloating, constipation, or other digestive discomfort. If it sounds incredible that all of this is associated with more butyrate in your gut, believe me, it is. But it's not surprising when you remember what's happening in the average American's body. We've been eating things that tear holes in our gut walls, including not just lectins, but also processed foods, sugars, and various fake health foods. Not to mention commonplace toxins that surround us, like glyphosate, the active ingredient in Roundup, that tears holes in our guts and lets waste leak into our bodies. And we consume antibiotics far too often, even though studies show every broad-spectrum antibiotic you take damages your gut health for a staggering 2 full years. When your gut is weak, these toxins create havoc on our health, storming across our body. But butyrate helps us fix the holes. It soothes the gut walls, and the more you have of it, odds are the better you're going to be. I can tell you, both as a doctor and my own patient, I now consider butyrate to be one of, if not the, most important health boosters in the human body. In fact, there's almost no aspect of your health, even your longevity itself, that butyrate doesn't play a massive role in. Okay, so how do we get more butyrate? Well, butyrate is made inside you, and it requires 2 things. The first thing you need is good bacteria in your gut. You may have heard of these good bacteria before. They're called probiotics. As you may know, your body contains trillions of bacteria. There's actually 10 bacteria cells in your body for every 1 human cell. In fact, you have about 4 to 6 pounds of bacteria inside you right now. Don't be grossed out. This isn't bad. In fact, without all that bacteria, you couldn't survive. According to Dr. Lita Proctor of the United States National Institutes of Health, humans don't have all the enzymes we need to digest our own diet. Microbes in the gut break down many of the proteins, lipids, and carbohydrates in our diet into nutrients that we can then absorb. Moreover, the microbes produce beneficial compounds, like vitamins and anti-inflammatories, that our genome cannot produce. These beneficial bacteria, which we call probiotics, are vital to human health. Damaging the probiotics in your gut has been shown in countless studies to have negative effects on your body. According to new data collected in 2016 by researchers at Harvard Medical School, imbalances in the gut microbiome, if left unchecked, can lead to all of the following: irritable bowel syndrome, including diarrhea, cramping, constipation, and fatigue, because gut microbes are vital to digestion in our intestines. Weight gain, due to a lack of probiotics that help control how much fat is stored in our bodies. Diabetes. It has long been known that diabetics have imbalanced gut microbes, but the Harvard researchers think this may not be a coincidence, but actually a causal factor. In short, an imbalance of beneficial bacteria in the gut is now shown in numerous studies to be a massively important part of human health. On the plus side, increased gut health has been linked to all of the following: slimmer waistlines, reduced cravings for sugar and carbs, improved skin issues, and even more energy. Probiotics even produce melatonin, the sleep hormone, so improved gut health is actually associated with better sleep. For years, doctors have known probiotics were helpful, but here's something surprising. If you caught most doctors in an honest moment, they would probably admit they didn't actually know why probiotics were so important. This is yet another example of the so-called status quo of medicine being behind the 8 ball. But now we finally understand that of everything probiotics do, one thing might be the most important of all. It turns out probiotics make butyrate. In fact, I now consider the production of butyrate to be the #1 most important aspect of probiotic bacteria. So, if you want more butyrate, the first thing you need is probiotics. But here's the thing no one will tell you. Probiotics alone won't get you butyrate. That's because to make butyrate, the probiotics need fuel. And that fuel is called prebiotics. The 2 things sound similar, but they're quite different. Probiotics are healthy bacteria, and prebiotics are what the bacteria eat. This is what most people don't understand about probiotics. They're actually useless without prebiotics. It's like a car with no gasoline, or a factory without electricity. Fuel is the key, and the more fuel you give your gut bacteria, the more butyrate they can make. And because of this, prebiotics have been shown to support massive health benefits, including all of the following. They reduce food cravings because prebiotic fiber makes you feel full. They soothe your intestinal tract because they create butyrate, the gut wall fixer. They create smoother, more regular bowel movements. Studies show that they help you lose weight. They even have a positive effect on heart health. All of this is caused by the benefits of prebiotics and butyrate in your gut. Okay, so what foods contain prebiotic fiber? Firstly, not all high-fiber foods actually have the best prebiotic fiber. For instance, broccoli and kale are high-fiber foods, and very good for you, but not high in prebiotic fiber. So what are the best foods for prebiotic fiber? Well, they're a little tougher to come by. My top 5 choices are chicory roots, asparagus, leeks, Jerusalem artichokes, and onions. These foods are all packed with the types of prebiotic fiber that feed the naturally occurring probiotics in your body and help them produce butyrate. And I'll give you 2 bonus gut boosters, walnuts and pistachios. You see, many nuts aren't nuts at all, especially peanuts, which are in fact beans. And these fake nuts are packed with dangerous lectins. But real nuts, like walnuts and pistachios, are superfoods that feed your gut buddies. In fact, studies show that consuming large amounts of certain nuts can boost heart health. And if you eat all of these foods every day, you're going to notice some big improvements in your health. But there's a few problems. Firstly, things like chicory and Jerusalem artichokes are tough to squeeze into your daily diet. And not everybody loves the taste of all these foods. Moreover, while eating these foods was probably enough for our ancestors to maintain a strong gut lining, modern humans are dealing with new problems. We eat processed foods crammed with sugar and chemicals, which destroy our gut lining. This includes things like the zero-calorie sweetener Splenda. According to a study at Duke University, a single packet of Splenda can destroy up to half of the probiotics in your gut. These foods are so commonplace, a staggering 74% of Americans now suffer from GI discomfort, which is probably why we also consume millions of capsules of over-the-counter pills to mask the symptoms of heartburn, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, and stomach discomfort, which works in the short term. But here's another thing the health industry hasn't made clear. Over-the-counter remedies, the antacids, the chalky chewables, aren't just useless in helping you with issues of leaky gut. They are actually a primary cause of leaky gut. Yes, this fact has now been shown in multiple scientific studies, and not just 1 or 2 studies. Dozens of studies from the top researchers around the world, the United States, Japan, Italy, Britain, and others, have shown that these so-called digestion helpers actually reduce mucus in the gut lining. That means less protection from toxins and more tears. In fact, studies have also indicated that prolonged use of any of these over-the-counter products can actually be disastrous for your health. How can that be